It's Friday night, and what the fuck are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're sitting home dreaming about sweaty, built men in underwear. And who better to do it with than the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast? And here's your host, Iconoclast and Dick Taco.
Welcome to the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast. I'm Iconoclast.
And I'm your host, Dick Taco. Well, nephew, you got some shit to get off your chest?
Yeah, again, I watched part of WWE Bad Blood. And
which we will be reviewing
everything
today.
I watch about them pisses me off so much.
You're kidding! I never knew this.
They have such a engineered, astroturfed media machine to just flood the internet with so much positive bullshit about them. For every time someone farts. Like, here's one thing. Friday night, because they had a tag team championship ladder match on SmackDown. And there was apparently a part where Tonga Loa, the worst fucking wrestler I've ever seen.
Here we go again.
The botch machine himself. People were saying how amazing he was because during the ladder match...
Well, first of all, you think they're going to say he sucks out loud?
No.
You're paying him all this money.
No, like on Reddit.
Oh, well, they're fucking... Well, it's either a bot or a moron.
Exactly. They have all these bots. That's what I'm saying. And you can't talk about wrestling, it seems like, anywhere on the internet because there's just all these bots and they'll say stuff like Tonga Loa is so amazing.
It's been enough talking wrestling with you.
Guess what he did? Guess what he did that these people said was so amazing. What? He stood up on the very top of the ladder to grab the belts. Not the top rung, the very top.
You're not supposed to stand on that part. It says right on the ladder, not a step. That's where you put the paint bucket when you're... Anyway, let me interrupt you real quick. Before we were just talking about reading about wrestling on Reddit. Did you see I got banned for a whole week? It's up tomorrow.
Because you talked about Benoit.
No, what I said was, and I'm gonna, I'd like to poll the audience on this if anybody actually listens to the show to think if anything I said was that bad. They were talking about him killing the family, so I just read a joke. I said, look, anybody who's been married could understand killing their spouse,
that's terrible.
But not the kid. And they were like, that's idiot. Terrible. I'm like, so some asshole writes, I've been married to my wife for 35 years, and not once have I thought about killing her. And I'm like, yeah, first of all, you're a liar. Second of all,
that's not true.
It was a joke, I said. And somebody ratted me out.
What?
I already had a warning because when Trump got shot at in Butler, I said, how could you miss a head that fat? They were like, you're encouraging violence. Like, no, I'm encouraging, straight shooting and, non-shaky hands. So he actually could have shot the guy. If that's what he was trying to do. But anyway, yeah, so my band's up tomorrow. I believe. I really don't give a fuck. Because everybody on there is, so sensitive about everything. Like, if you don't agree with people anymore, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Especially people your age. What generation are you, Z?
Yes.
Yeah. Gen X to you guys are like the baby boomers are to my generation. That's probably what you think.
Your generation sucks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, statistically, in general, you're the generation that didn't do anything. You're the generation that sat around and smoked weed all day.
Oh, you guys are so much better, right?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, let's get to the fucking news. You're annoying me already.
All right. WWE selling ticket packages for WrestleMania for $50,000.
Yeah, can you fucking believe that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of shit, dude. I understand it's a big thing, but I don't even know. I don't know enough about the Super Bowl to know how much they charge, but that's what I think about when I think about WrestleMania. That's a fucking lot of money. That's why. Remember how much the tickets were? We were looking at WrestleMania in Philly last year. They were too much, and they were general admission. Fuck that. Now, speaking of the smelly Samoans,
Oh, God.
Hikuleo was added internally to the NXT WWE roster. Where the fuck is he?
Where the fuck?
He's 7 feet tall. You can't miss him.
And now, not to mention, they got Zilla Fatu and Journey Fatu, who are working on GC. Well, Zilla Fatu apparently is no longer working for GCW.
Well, they're not booking him because he no-showed.
Yeah.
He's working for somebody else right now, but
Zilla Fatu.
It doesn't matter. They could slice a piece off of Solo's thigh. Just say, there's Zilla. That's what they do with the Bebe's kids.
Yeah, and then Cody's their bitch on every single show. How must that feel? He's the world champion, and he feels like a nobody compared to the Bloodline. Like, that's how they book over there. The world champion feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, I'd have to say you may be correct on that. You didn't watch the main event, right?
No. All I saw was the thing that Jimmy came back. And now Jay and him are going to have seizures again.
And they look at each other. He's going to fix his hair in the mirror. But anyway.
But the... God, well,
speaking of Oos and Oos, you saw Jay won the IC title from Braun Breaker, right?
Yeah, because Rikishi kept complaining every single week that...
Fuck Rikishi, his fat ass, and his
he's extreme
powerful sperm.
Hey, I was going to say, he can get a woman pregnant from 20 paces. He puts on a condom, shoots right through.
But he won that on the September 23rd Raw.
I don't even know how many kids Rikishi has.
I don't know if he does either. But he won that on the 9/23 Raw. We were off last week, so.
Was he any good ever?
He was around forever. I told you, he was with the fucking Samoan SWAT team way back in the day. Him and Samu, who was Samula who was even older from the Wild Samoans, and then they became the WWF. They became the Head Shrinkers. And they fought the Steiners at WrestleMania 9, that Roman one, that awful Roman one.
And then wasn't he like a rapper character, Change the World Fatu or Change the Universe Fatu?
That was for like a half an hour, and I'd rather forget about that.
Did he run over Stone Cold Steve Austin?
That's when he came back. Because after the Head Shrinkers, he did the Change the World Fatu because he grew up in the bad neighborhood and got shot in the stomach or something. I don't know. But...
Hey, he was at that JCW Legends and Icons show I told you about.
Jersey Championship Wrestling?
No, Juggalo Championship Wrestling with the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, yeah, Jersey Championship Wrestling isn't around anymore.
Fuck
that!
The Insane Clown Posse, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. Violent J is officially listed on the the NWA roster? We saw Violent J was on the last episode.
Yes, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, when we went over the Independents, the last of the Independents, I realized they don't have fuck all on their goddamn roster.
Well, speaking of that, I was seeing one thing. Like, I saw this
did you see I put on here independent show to review if we can, GCW Aura? I just want to see who was on it. We're coming up on Solid. A couple weeks we'll be doing that.
Oh, God!
Well,
we're not even going to really be able to watch it because I told you how they do this. They split it up into episodes of Power.
So wait, like when I found it last year, you don't think I'll be able to find it like that now?
No, because they don't release shows like that anymore. They film shows and then they just split them up into episodes of Power and air them over like 2 months.
I'll have to see because those sites usually have their stuff.
Because now it's going to be on Twitter or X or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, because we might as well talk about that now. We'll get down to the
because MXT is on the CW. Now.
Yeah, NWA, where the hell is it? Power episodes leaving the CW app as NXT got there. And it looks like they're going to air matches on Twitter. Yep, you were right about that.
What did you say about NXT going head-to-head with AEW? There's no way that's happening.
Let me see. What did I say? They're going head-to-head with them?
Yeah. That they're going to... You said that NXT's...
Got a lot of AEW news this week. Holy shit. NXT will go head-to-head with AEW starting in November.
That's not... I haven't seen anything about that. I don't think that's true.
Well, it may not be. You see how like some of this shit I get sometimes is wrong. That's why I have to correct myself.
Like Eric Bischoff trying to say that Dave Meltzer owns 3% stock in AEW. When AEW...
they're definitely greasing his palms.
No, they aren't. Bischoff got that from a fake Brandon Thurston tweet. And he's making
fake
this...
because Brandon Thurston's pretty damn credible.
And then he's saying now that Brandon Thurston's getting paid off by Meltzer, who's getting paid off by AEW.
That's a huge conspiracy. That's too much.
Well, he's Bischoff.
I believe you.
He kills everything he touches.
WWE also opposes TNA trademark of Santino Marella. Who the fuck cares?
Is he any good ever?
No, he was all comedy. He's very, very funny. He would get guys to crack up, and he'd be like, John Cena. He would call him John Cena instead of John Cena. Well, because he's supposed to be like Italian. Or no, he was supposed to be like I don't know, Middle Eastern or something. Or
well, now
Italian,
he's
or he was Middle Eastern playing in Italian. I don't know.
Now he's the authority figure on TNA. Last time,
yeah, all 5'6" of them. Yeah, I'm really afraid of that. He has the quickest.
I just remember the one time he deputized Shark Boy.
You know, I almost wore him up to TNA when I watched some of those shows, like that link I sent you that one night when we were both home.
That sucked for the most part.
What, that show?
Yeah,
that wasn't. They had a hot crowd. They had 4,000 people there.
The best part
TNA or AEW could take a look at some of their shit they're doing. Like
the best thing of what they did was most wanted man. He stinks. McMahon
stinks. But TNA has been around long enough that they have office people and they have somebody doing marketing because they got 4,000 people.
They're fucking cockroaches. That's why you can't kill them. I remember reading this thing that TNA is like someone.
Yeah, but you're a fan of like old TNA, so I don't know how you can be upset even.
Well, because new TNA is just like new TNA is just trying to tries to rip off AEW.
New TNA is like New Becky on Roseanne.
What?
Yeah, Roseanne. You never watched Roseanne?
No.
You heard of the show Roseanne
Barely.
Barr?
Yeah.
Well, they had Becky, her oldest daughter, on there.
Yeah.
And then she left the show, and then they had New Becky, and then they brought old Becky back, and then I think when they brought the show
back,
back,
the Waltons when they brought John Boy back, he was a different actor.
Yeah, it's like I told you. If you keep pissing me off, I'll replace you on the show with a black kid, and I won't even acknowledge it. I'll be like, your voice sounds different. No, it doesn't.
Fake razor, fake D.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I just trot him out there, I am iconoclast.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Okay, Stephanie Vakir finally shows up and sends warning to Julia and Roxanne Perez ahead of the Chicago NXT show. That was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I know how much you love her because she walked out on a possible deal with AEW.
No,
you walked out because you don't like her because she walked out, period.
On CMLL. And she had other bookings within like the next 2 weeks.
You should do the job.
Yeah. She was advertised for another show for NJPW already. And then she just left.
Bret Hart should have done the job before the screw job too. I mean, you're supposed to do the job on the way out the door. That's the way it goes. That's why you give more. Back in the old territory days, you would give more notice if you had a belt. You had to do 6 weeks. You had to give them 6 weeks notice. 4 if you were over on top, and 2 if you were just doing jobs because you could go all over the country. But yeah, I kind of agree.
Nobody cares about the territories.
Yes, they do. Plenty of people do. You don't care. You're never going to grow in your wrestling knowledge.
You're going
to be this cranky fuck stuck right where you are.
You know who wants to bring back the territories? Billy Corgan for the NWA.
I'd say he was doing it right.
Where they have like EC3's promotion.
Speaking of people with their fucking infrastructure and their goddamn shit with marketing and advertising, what the fuck is he doing?
Who?
Billy Corgan. He had stuff he was on record labels. He still is with Smashing Pumpkins. How the fuck do you not understand how to market this shit better? I mean, these guys, Corgan's been a fan forever, just like Tony Khan.
And Tony can't market either.
That's what I mean. They don't market well. One of the Buck's wife that gave up. And actually, it's gone worse since she's been gone with the merchandise and the marketing. Somebody would just be like, you just need to advertise. You seen it. You remember what Meltzer said the other week? They had 9 guys on the poster for that one Collision. None of them were on the show. That's bad.
Yeah. Especially on Collision, where the best part of it's like the outrunners.
You know what would benefit them? I know you're going to say something about me being old school, but the old card posters. And you just put card subject. They always used to put card subject to change. When you're looking up the guest of program shit, you find that stuff. Yeah. That would benefit. At least they would know who's wrestling. Or special guest appearance by Shark Boy or something, Not that I would care about it, but just
Shark
Boy.
What I mean. Shark Boy said so.
SummerSlam 2025 will be in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium.
No.
Your cousin's like, should we go? I'm like, how fucking far that is? It's like 3 hours.
It's going to be 2 nights because everything's got to be 2 nights.
No, it's the last one. It's 1 night. MetLife Stadium in 26 is going to be starting 2 nights.
Wait, they're going to do the same arena twice?
No. Oh, no. That's
I thought that was in Indianapolis.
What's the one in fucking? No, that's Lucas Oil Stadium.
Ah!
Well, if you watch football, you know this shit. That's where the Colts play. No, they're going to be at First Bank Stadium or whatever it is. Bank whatever is in Minnesota. It's a dome.
Because those are the only pay-per-views with cards more than fucking 5 matches.
Well, all these in the middle PLEs are having like 5 matches. The big
I know,
shows
but
have.
it sucks when there's only 5 matches. Because as I will
They've
discuss
gone back to the
Bad
indoor
Blood,
house format almost.
Well, yeah, but those were a lot cheaper, weren't they?
They would be cheaper and they were shorter. They were about 2 hours and they had about.
Because
They were like
pay-per-views are still the same length. There's just less matches because they take so fucking long with the advertising and the intros.
Speaking of that, I'm interested to see Raw tomorrow night at 2 hours for the first time in fucking 15 years almost, probably. So we'll see about that.
Well, then it's going to go back to 3 hours when it goes to Netflix.
They didn't say that yet.
No, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they won't because I'm sorry, if you have 3.5 hour pay-per-views, what's the fucking point of doing a 3-hour show every week? I heard SmackDown may go to 3 hours. But I don't get that. Maybe it's USA that's hell-bent on having a 3-hour show.
Well, because they need to have the Samoans on their show.
WWE 2K25 could be released in Q4 2024, and TNA stars may be in it.
I was seeing stuff that's actually a lot harder because that involves a different contract and stuff.
What about the TNA people being in it?
Yeah.
But the rumor is Jordan Grace and Trey Miguel, who I didn't know who he was till I read this article, may have done motion capture for the game already. But WWE 2K24, they're doing new DLC this month with The Fiend they're going to put him in it.
Who?
I just saw The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I just saw the commercial this morning.
Oh. He's not already in the game?
Yeah, he's dead.
So there's plenty of wrestlers that are dead they put in those games.
True. But maybe he wasn't advertised in the beginning. But WWE bringing Elimination Chamber to England for 2025. They need to make that pay-per-view mean more, too. If I could see as much blood as I saw last night, which we'll talk about in a minute, the old Elimination Chamber matches in the early 2000s were the fucking greatest thing I ever saw. Especially if you put a guy in there who's a bleeder like Shawn Michaels.
Or Hannibal.
He's not allowed to bleed.
I was joking.
Pick surfaces of Punk and McIntyre standing next to each other. Now, what reason I wrote this down is it was in the hours before Raw, which means either somebody snuck in or it's an actual WWE employee taking the pics, which is fucked. I don't like that at all. There's too many people out to ruin the business more than it already has been with the magic part of it, you know?
Kayfabe. Yeah, because your dumbass can't even understand kayfabe when you talk about Tony Storm having an affair with Stan Hansen.
I know it's kayfabe. I want to talk about it because it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I know she didn't fuck Stan Hansen. I love that she's totally in character.
It was hilarious.
How dare you insult me like that?
It was hilarious. Did you see the promo?
I listened to it. She goes, then he gave me a lariat, not with his arm. I love her from top to bottom, dude. I think she's the best female wrestler to come along in a while. You know, not like Charlotte. Charlotte's just all business in the ring. Her personality, her promos are good, but it's in her blood. I mean, woo! But
is she retired now?
No, I don't know, but she got hurt. Like, did she tear something? She tore her ACL or something like that. But, all right, let's get to the Bad Blood review before we do the little bit of Vince news we have.
And then we'll go to the AEW news.
Yeah, then we can
the actual good wrestling.
Oh, shut up. Hold on. Let me get the card.
Where attendance? Where ratings? Where? Wah.
Oh, what? Because they got their big deal now? You're all excited?
Yeah, you're saying how they spent $60 million on talent in the last 2 years? They're going to make it all back right away.
That's a lot, though, dude.
Yeah,
I would like to see a breakdown of the talent so I could tell you who's not. You know they're not all worth it.
Yeah. I think I saw something like when they started, it was like 60 wrestlers. Now it's 160.
That's ridiculous. But look at some of the 160. The fucking Dark Order parts of them are still there.
Hey, well, they're part of a storyline now.
All right. Now, I watched this whole thing this morning because, like I said.
Why? Why would you waste your time?
Well, I had nothing to do. And the Phillies, I was so pissed off from the Phillies losing last night. I was beside myself. So I forgot until, by the time I turned on, it was the press conference. But, yeah, it was Bad Blood. It was on the 27th anniversary of the last time they had Bad Blood. or the original Bad Blood, which was also the day they found Brian Pillman dead, and the debut of Kane. So, all right, the results. CM Punk defeated Drew McIntyre by pinfall in one of the best Hell in a Cell matches in a while. 31 minutes and 25 seconds.
It still was not very good.
Well, let me give me your thoughts on it. You watched that one.
It was very slow.
Well, Punk is slow anymore.
Very lumbering.
Yeah.
A lot of just like waddling around. It felt like I still am very confused about why they're even fighting.
Over the bracelet. It all started when he injured him at the Rumble.
I don't know. I just feel like people talk about like, oh, WWE has such amazing storylines. I'm like, no, they don't.
Well, you got to admit, I used to talk so much shit about McIntyre. Like, right after his entrance was done, it was over. But I don't say that anymore because he is interesting as hell in this. Because he's good being the bad guy.
Whatever.
It all started when he did that T-shirt right in front of the tombstone that said CM Punk's WrestleMania main event. But it was pretty good. But let's get to the rest of the shit, shall we?
Yeah.
Nia Jax defeated Bayley by pinfall at 14:10.
Didn't see any of this.
You're a better person for it. 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Nia Jax will now forever be known as the Big Tomato.
Why? What'd she wear?
Because she wore this tight red outfit that the seams must have been from the planet Krypton. Because if this thing busted open, her fupa was going to be 3/4 of the way down to her knee.
What she said? I forget. What's a fupa?
It's the fat upper pubic area, that belly that hangs over your actual pubic area. I mean, not that I'm Charles Atlas over here, but holy Christ. But it was a decent match. There was a big botch in it where Bayley was in the corner with, like, Nia Jax on top of her like she was punching her, and then she went for the power bomb, right? Like, she picked her up, and I was like, don't do it, Bayley. You're going to throw your fucking back out throwing that porpoise around. But then she falls down. You think she powerbombed her. But Bayley does a flip over. Like she hurricane routed her. And her legs never touched her. And I'm like, if I was Nia Jax, I looked at the wife. I said, if I was Nia Jax, I would get up and beat the shit out of her right now for doing that. Like, first of all, you shouldn't even do a spot like that with the girl being that small next to fucking Man Mountain Dean over there.
Who's Man Mountain?
Wrestler long time ago.
I remember I seen this one thing of reminds me of when you talk about like wrestlers getting pissed off of when Sid was in Ring of Honor.
Sid?
Yes.
Sid Vicious?
Yes.
When was he in Ring of Honor?
I don't know, but he's in like jeans.
Oh yeah, that was when he was. That's what he did in ECW in like '99.
Yeah, and he powerbombed Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn like just comically oversells it, where you're like, ah!
Is this when he was Generico with the mask on?
And then he runs around the ring and he runs outside, and Sid just looks so pissed off.
I saw Sid at an NWA TV taping in 2008. Your grandfather bought tickets for it. That's when I was married the first time. We went down to Wildwood because we used to go to Wildwood all the time to see wrestling when I was a kid. And we went down there, and they had you sitting in certain spots because they were taping it. They wanted their place to look full. It was real small though. It was in one of the side rooms in Convention Hall down there. And he came out. I actually fist bumped with him. He's a fucking monster. But he disappeared after that. Like, I don't mean he was no-showing. Like, nobody could fucking find him. But apparently that's what he was doing for the last years of his career. So
wearing jeans.
But Nia Jax.
Did you say you hate guys who wrestle in jeans?
Yeah, but I'll never hate Sid. I always like Sid. Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton tried to cash in her money in the bag. But
on who?
On Nia Jax.
Oh.
But they're supposed to be friends. So Nia, like, kind of stared her down until she stopped, and then she beat Bayley. So it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Next
I
match.
do not like Tiffany Stratton.
Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Damian Priest defeated Finn Balor by pinfall in 12:45. Screw sheet. I'm not a fan of Finn Balor ever since he came here because I don't think they've ever used him correctly.
It was great.
He could be elevated as a top guy, or maybe he can't. Maybe I'm wrong anymore. He just doesn't have it anymore.
He was amazing in Japan like 20 years ago.
But he was the first ever Universal Champion, remember? And he got hurt, and he had to surrender it the next night. So, I don't know. Maybe since he got hurt, he's not as good anymore, but he doesn't do anything for me. He never has.
What about Damian Priest?
I don't like Damian either, but Damian's a decent wrestler. But watching this match for how
he's pushing 40. Did you know that?
Yeah, we talked about that the other week. But how
Punisher
fucking
Martinez.
Yeah, he used to be a Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah, I told you that. You didn't remember him.
No, because that was towards probably the very end when I wasn't watching, like when the other people owned it, Sinclair or whatever.
Because he wrestled Naito at one point at War of the Worlds.
Poor Naito. But watching Priest fight Balor, it was like watching King Kong Bundy wrestle Little Beaver. I mean, that's how short Balor is next to him.
And Balor's supposed to be the tag team champion.
Yeah, with
the Irish Troll.
JD, I told you, is there another kind? JD McDonough. And Carlito's out there too. I forget he's even into Judgment Day. He just comes out once in a while. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting a check."
Look,
see?
Yeah, with his street trash shirt, which I didn't think they were actually going to make those, since I told you they were apparently thinking of renaming the Judgment Day Street Trash.
Oy. So that was 12 minutes and 45 seconds. He beat him with the razor's edge. Rhea Ripley defeated Liv Morgan by disqualification because, who was it? Raquel Rodriguez came back and beat the shit out of Rhea Ripley, who she's almost as big as Rhea, too.
Yeah, and
but
then Dominic was in...
I'm going to say something sexist. Maybe sexist. That's not sexist. But she wore this open shirt that was, like, tied. She don't have any tits. I don't know why you'd wear that with no boobs. Like, she's built, so she doesn't have any boobs. But why would you wear that? But she picked up Rhea and fucking chucked her.
Yeah, and then Dominic was hanging by the...
Did you see when he fell?
Yeah,
that scared me for a minute.
And
did you see the thing where Triple H unveiled the Crown Jewel Championship?
No,
Gunther came out, and Goldberg was in the front row with his son. And he goes, "I hope you're a better father than you were a wrestler." Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson were there. Tully Blanchard stands up when they announce him. Nobody knows who the fuck he is. But Arn gets up right next to him, and Corey Graves is like, "Oh, the Brain Busters." I'm like, don't call them that.
Why?
Horsemen. Always. They're the original Horsemen. But she beat
What are they going to do? What are they going to do in WWE?
They're just backstage. But I don't know if Tully does anything. Tully's probably still banned from there for failing that drug test. That's why he got fired in '89. It's another long story. But yeah, she beat him. Dom was suspended in a cage like in the old days. But the one thing that bothered me is he picked the lock open. And I'm like, and I'm looking how far away he is from the ring. I'm like, fuck's he going to do? Besides fall out. And lo and behold, he fall out.
I find this storyline to be extremely sexist in the reverse way that usually love triangle stories are misogynistic, where usually they objectify the woman as an object for the men to fight over.
Well, you can't do that anymore.
No, but see, now I think this is I think it's misogynistic in the exact same way, where these women are defined solely by, their characters are defined solely by their relationship with a man.
Like one of my friends says constantly, Rhea Ripley is beyond hot, he says.
Yeah, but...
And Liv Morgan's attractive, too. But why would you be fighting over that dirty, greasy Dominic Mysterio?
Yeah.
He's lucky Eddie Guerrero's dead because he could just steal all the shit from him like that. He even looks like him now. He probably is Eddie's son. There's probably a little truth to that custody of Dominic match 20 years ago. But yeah.
I just find it to be misogynistic in the usual way love triangles end up being misogynistic, especially, at least in wrestling. They always were misogynistic.
Oh, sure. Like Georgiana stealing Elizabeth years ago. And trying to think about...
the Viagra on a pole match.
I never saw that, and I'm glad, because you talk about it all the fucking time.
Because it's hilarious.
Talk about objectifying stuff. You objectify late WCW and early TNA like it's the end-all fucking be-all.
It's
and
fucking
it sucks
hilarious.
balls is what it does.
We got Ernest the Cat Miller.
I'm the greatest.
And we got, again, he was out there constantly. We got this match.
He was the commissioner for a little bit.
We have this match, which is where Billy Kidman and Shane Douglas are fighting over Tori Wilson. And apparently they both have, like, erectile dysfunction. And because this is a Russo story. And
unbelievable.
The idea was that they were fighting over the bottle of Viagra, which is just looks like...
I've seen pictures.
It's like a 19th century medicine bottle. Like from like a Western.
It's like the glass bottle with the steam coming out of it.
It just says Viagra on it. And the idea is that,
stupid bastard couldn't even get a good prop guy.
Yeah, the idea is that, like, Tori will be with whatever man can get it up, is what they said. And it was just, it's so bad. I don't know why Shane Douglas ever went to WCW.
Neither does he. He talks about it and then he got left holding his dick when the Radicals all left. Except for Eddie wasn't in the Radicals.
Yeah,
Eddie
he was.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he wasn't in. No, the group was Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie wasn't in that. It was the other three of them.
And then they all left.
They left him there holding his fucking dick, dude, just out on the street. In the main event at 25:50, Cody and Roman defeated the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is a fucking star. And him and Roman looked very slow, but they had the Arkansas Pine Bluff College fucking, which I don't know why they were there. I thought it would be like Georgia Tech. Since
what?
Roman right there. They had the band out there.
Why?
To play Cody's music. And then they played Cody's music on the speaker anyway, so it took like fucking 10 minutes from
Well, that's the thing. The entrances are so fucking long.
And what's up with that skull mask he wears? He looks like fucking Skeletor.
I don't know. He's very... now listen to him talk. He's very unintelligent.
Who, Cody?
Yes. He's extremely stupid.
How could you say that? He sounds... I've seen him on Rich Eyes, and he can handle himself.
Yeah, it's because everything he does is so scripted. Go watch AEW where he wasn't working with a script that someone else wrote, and he sounds like a fucking doofus.
Yeah, but look what WWE's doing with him right now. He was number one on the PWI 100. He's the fucking...
What does that even mean? Number
he's the
one
best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, come on! You criticize the PWI 500 for having, like...
I didn't criticize the top ones, like the top 10, top 20. I don't understand how... No, I criticized Tony Khan for paying real money to put Tony Nese on a fucking pay-per-view pre-show, and he's $4.79. Evil Uno's more than him. That stuff, they're just putting people some way. I criticized Tony Khan for fucking paying real money for these jerk-offs. But yeah, during the match, a guy with a bandana came out, and it was Jimmy Uso, who super kicked the fuck out of the two Tongans. And, shut up, it's not going to get in your face.
Didn't The Rock show up?
Yeah, The Rock showed up at the end. We're building to War Games here.
What's it going to be?
Which that's going to be a good show when we review that. It was last year.
What's it going to be? Samoans versus Samoans?
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's going to be like... I don't know if Cody will be involved in it because he got attacked backstage right in front of that Wheatley vodka bus you love so much by Kevin Owens, who I wonder if this is Kevin's swan song before he leaves because I think his contract's up in December.
Yeah, and people think he might go to AEW. And I was even reading stuff saying that
I wouldn't mind that.
That AJ Styles might go to AEW.
Well, you know, some of these guys, they're probably looking for a lot of money and like less of a schedule. They don't do a lot of house shows.
They don't do any.
They don't do any. And sometimes these guys do vignettes and you don't see them for 4 weeks. So it's like WCW when they were getting half the dates for like twice the money.
Like Scorpio Sky cutting those 2 vignettes in 2 years.
Yeah, you wasted 20 minutes on a one show talking about he's not dead like anybody cares. But yeah, Kevin
Owens. I thought it
Owens.
was so fucking hilarious.
How come you didn't say anything about the shameless commercialism last night with the saucy nugs, and the Morgan and Morgan?
I fucking hate it so much. I can't watch their garbage. I can't.
I mean, they really, really are fucking commercial as hell.
It's so, like, safe.
Well, I've always said that the actual style of matches is bad.
Yeah, of course.
Compared to AEW.
That's what Ricochet said, too, when he came over here. Because he wrestles so much better in AEW.
Well, he's got a lot of people. But I have to tell you, I saw the one match. I don't know if it was Ricochet with Ospreay or not. But the acrobatics, like, do we have to see him all the time?
What do you mean, the acrobatics?
All the flipping around and not touching each other and missing each other and stopping, and everybody gets to clap like it's a fucking tennis match.
God, you sound like Jim Cornette.
To a degree.
It's a goddamn... It looks like a Kung Fu movie. It looks like a video game. That's what he fucking
does
sounds.
Sometimes
I don't care. It looks cool.
Sometimes it's too much, I think. There's no good mat wrestlers anymore, except for like Danielson.
No, there are good mat wrestlers.
Name another one besides Danielson.
Hook.
Fuck him. He's going to be nobody. Nobody's going to remember who he is in 5 years.
Moxley.
No. You're a liar. You should be struck by lightning. Maybe. But nobody's going to know who the fuck he is in like another month.
Kyle O'Reilly. Roderick Strong.
All right, strong, fine.
I can go down
I'll
the
give you
list.
strong.
I can go
All
down
right,
the list.
Wrapping up the WWE stuff, let's go to some Vince McMahon news. It's been a while.
I can go down the list of AEW wrestlers.
All right, well, don't until later.
Name a good mat wrestler WWE has.
I can't right now.
Exactly.
Well, they have a different kind of style. I'm talking about an antithesis to the style of the acrobatics. We're not talking about WWE.
AEW has all kinds of people.
All right, let's go to this Vince news because it's been a while.
Okada.
Right before the documentary came out, Vince said, did you see that thing he put up on Twitter about how he was saying, he put an open letter on X saying that that they might have fucked with some of the footage and it was not what everybody thinks and you can't equate the Mr. McMahon character to him, which is bullshit. But he tried to buy it, to bury it the first time.
Yeah.
Like Trump tried to do with those stories with Stormy Daniels and shit. But Eric Bischoff has a friend, Scott Silver, who's a Hollywood writer. He worked on Joker.
You can't listen to anything Bischoff says.
No, but listen to this. It's about Vince, though. This guy, Scott Silver, worked on the Joker, and he heard from the writers for this documentary that McMahon volunteered so much off-the-wall shit that he wanted to put in there, like odd info that he just volunteered. But they were like, no! Because God knows.
No, well, is it Russo who still thinks that Vince was set up?
I don't know. He thinks it's all bullshit, but and he's getting time on that Lee Cole's Wrestling with the Devil. They're like best buddies. And he hates, and Lee don't like Jim Cornette for some reason.
Bro. Listen, bro.
It was ridiculous, dude. All right. And a lot of people said, unnamed source said a lot of those releases that you saw over the years would line up right when Vince was paying off some of this Huss Money stuff. So maybe he did that to defray some
like
stuff.
Braun Strowman.
All right, well, let's do a real quick review of that. I'll just go over it. Now, how much of it did you see?
How much of what?
The Mr. McMahon documentary.
Just some clips of it. I had no desire to sit down and watch it once I read all the reviews of it.
The first episode, they don't even touch on his early life. You still don't know what his stepfather, Lupton, that raised him was. He grew up in a trailer in North Carolina.
They don't talk about any of that?
No, they do, but you still don't know who his father, the stepfather that raised him was. He never met Senior until he was 12.
Yeah.
And it ends with, it talks a lot about that. It talks about right after he purchased the promotion, Hulk Hogan's in there getting talked to, getting brought back because the older McMahon fired him because he wanted to be in Rocky III. So that's how he went. The second episode entitled Heat, it talks about the success of WrestleMania 1 and Saturday night's main event. And they did a whole big thing about prior to WrestleMania 2, Jesse Ventura tried to organize a union. Meltzer's on there. Meltzer was actually the saving grace in the thing because he was fact-checking them because they talk about how the attendance at WrestleMania 3 was overblown and everything. And it was really 78,000.
See, Dave came down from speaking with the burning bush to give his wisdom.
Oh my God, that was horrible. You should be struck by lightning. But then it ends with the drug scandal and the sex scandal. And I remember the whole thing about the ring boys.
Oh, okay, that one.
But you want to know something he said in this episode?
Who? Vince?
Vince. They talk about Rita Chatterton. Remember the girl I told you about, the first female referee?
Yes, that's what I was thinking about too. The one that he raped and then she disappeared.
Yeah, and he paid out. When he made this comment, he hadn't paid her out yet because that law that Trump with E. Jean Carroll, same thing happened to Vince. He had to give her $21 million. But he says on camera, and they put it on, he goes, it was not rape, it was consensual. And even if it was rape, the statute of limitations had run out already. He actually fucking said that. Talk about being your own worst enemy.
God.
So that made me wonder a little bit.
I just remember no one was able to, no one's been able to find Rita Chatterton for years.
Well, no, she got paid out the other year, and they put that up on the screen afterwards, that she got paid out that money. And it ends with talking about the ring boy scandal. Because
I thought Vince's limo driver said it was rape 2 years ago. But
yeah, but then you weren't able to find him.
Yeah.
And that episode number 2, Heat, ends with Vince being pissed that Hogan went to WCW, yeah.
WCW.
Yeah, because they had USA executives on there that said if Vince would have been found guilty, they were going to take WWF off the air, even though he brought Jerry Jarrett in from Memphis to run it. So I never knew that. Somebody did a what if in a magazine when I was a kid about what would have happened. But episode 3 was entitled Screw Job. Vince is acquitted, after Hogan's testimony, which he was supposed to testify against them for the government, and he got total immunity from the government and then turned on the government.
God.
Total babyface turn for Hulk, right in front of the court. This episode being called Screwjob has a lot to do with Bret Hart. They go through the original.
I gotta ask this question real quick. It just popped into my head. What was the show that Hogan was on, where he was like filming it before he went to WCW, where he was like a beach cop or something?
Oh, they used to be on right before before Nitro.
What was it?
Thunder in Paradise. That was the song. Jim Neidhart was in it. Chris Lemmon, son of Jack Lemmon, the famous actor. Jimmy Hart was in it. It's fucking awful. Sting was on it as a bad guy one time before Hogan was in WCW.
What was the one thing he was also in? Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain?
Where he wore the hairpiece? Oh, for Christ's sake. He's been bald since 1979. But they talk about the original Screwjob where Wendy Richter wanted more money and he put Moolah under a mask and just had her beat him. And then it goes into the curtain call where the Clique broke kayfabe and Hunter Hearst Helmsley wound up jobbing for it, about Nash and Hall going to WCW and them losing, in the ratings for 83 weeks, and then the Bret Hart Screwjob at the end. So, episode 4, Attitude, in the aftermath of the Screwjob, and WCW winning the ratings wars when Vince started to create new stars like Stone Cold, The Rock, D-Generation X, and then that ends with the Over the Edge pay-per-view about Owen Hart falling from the rafters.
Yeah, and Martha Hart has said that they never contacted her for anything.
Well, why would they? She wouldn't be in it anyway. And why? Oh, you mean she's upset they were talking about Owen? Period.
Yeah. Okay. Or that they didn't get her side of the story for anything. They just got Vince's side of the story.
All Vince said was, "If it was me that fell, I would want the show to go on." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's fucking you, dude." Like, think about all the other performers. And Jeff Jarrett having to come out a couple matches later.
Also, JR said that they never contacted him at all.
And he said he had the goods if they would have wanted to, which I would have been great because he spent a lot of time with them. Episode 5, Family Business. Talk about the New York Stock Exchange when they went public and how Vince bought WCW from AOL Time Warner for $2.5 million. That's it. Jericho said once in a documentary, when I heard how much he bought it for, I was surprised because I could have bought it. And
again, they weren't making any money by that point.
It ends with the rise of John Cena in the Ruthless Aggression area, and you really learn a lot about Vince and Shane's relationship being very contentious over the years. But Shane comes away looking like a good guy.
Well, because Shane apparently always thought that Stephanie was his favorite and that she was the one who was going to get everything.
Well, Vince, Shane tried to get him to buy UFC years ago when they were like very, very small.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do it because he didn't like the fact of not being able to control the finishes of the fights. Yeah, because they're real fucking fights.
Yeah.
And now they buy you. So, episode 6, the final episode to finish. It starts off with the loss to Donald Trump in the Battle of the Billionaires and a lot of comparisons to Trump. They talk about the Chris Benoit double murder suicide, which just directly leads me into getting banned off of Reddit. And they interview Steve Austin, who doesn't believe in fucking CTE.
Yeah, I know. I want to talk about that.
That's some shit.
Yeah, he said he doesn't believe in it. He says he doesn't think it's real.
But he says if you get a concussion and arrested, you're obviously not doing something right. I'm like, yeah, it still don't mean you can't fucking get hurt.
And it's not entirely your fault if you get a concussion. It might be the other person's fault.
And they talk about, Chris Nowinski wanting to, study Benoit's brain. Oh, and they start the Vince McMahon death storyline the week before that. And they have to
he blew the limo up.
Yeah.
And apparently you can buy that limo or it just sold. Either it just went on sale or it just sold at auction.
Oh, yeah?
That limo they blew up.
They get into Stephanie and Triple H being more involved in the production side. Shane's return. They didn't cover Shane's tour in quads the other year, which I think they should have, because that makes me laugh. The multi-billion-dollar deal with Peacock, after the launch of the WWE Network and the rapid rise of stocks. And then Vince is no longer in it for the last part of it, because this is after the Janelle Grant thing came out. It's actually after June 2022 he stopped being in it, because it says he stepped down as chairman and CEO amidst allegations of sexual misconduct and trafficking.
That was when he left the first time.
Then he returned in WWE as chairman in January with Stephanie re-resigning. And then they sold out for Endeavor. And Vince leaves the company after the Grant scandal starts. and he immediately sold $400 million of TKO stock. He canceled the final interview for the series. But all in all, I was disappointed because a lot of people said beforehand it was a double shovel burial. I didn't see it. They didn't really touch on some of the things. I guess they can't touch on a lot of the case because it's an ongoing investigation with the federal government. But
you can just
they didn't tell you anything you didn't know.
But you could just talk about all the garbage he's done over the years. The wanting to do a storyline where he and Stephanie were in an incestuous relationship.
They did talk about that. And Stephanie said no to it. And it's like Shane had a problem with the WrestleMania 17 angle where he was hooking up with Trish Stratus and the mother was all comatose.
Yeah.
But they said in that fight, too, he goes, I can't hit my dad. I can't hit my dad. And Vince fucking potatoes him in the middle of the match. He goes, all right, here we go. That's a great, great match.
God. The one at WrestleMania 17?
Yeah, well, that whole show's good. From top to bottom, it's one of the best
shows. And then Vince
I've
comes out at the end and gives Stone Cold the chair, and that's when Stone Cold turns heel.
That was the worst part of the show.
Really?
Yeah, then Stone Cold wound up being the leader of the Alliance. Which, why would you leave WCW after they fired you while you were injured? All right, you want to go into the AEW news here?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. What was the thing you told me about Hulk Hogan saying he was going to be the next John Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go down to that here. We'll get the miscellaneous news out of the way.
Just while we're talking about the Hulkster.
Hulk Hogan says Bobby Heenan was a better wrestler.
When was Bobby Heenan ever a wrestler?
He was, but he was really a manager. Bobby Heenan was one of the greatest workers of all time. But he wasn't better than Hart and Steamboat combined. In an interview with Wrestling, he also said he was going to be the next John Wayne. Also, Hogan also told wrestlers that he wanted to turn heel after WrestleMania 6 and become Hollywood Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Triple H.
What?
Never heard that before. They would have made so much money. I don't know if they would have made so much money if Hogan turned heel back.
They would have made a shit ton of money in the early 2010s if they had Cena turn heel.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently Vince pulled the plug on that right at the end.
That would have been great because I always thought they would do like an NWO. Or just do the NWO again and have Cena be the head of it. TNA cancels back-to-back tapings in South Carolina.
This was because of the hurricane in North Carolina.
Okay. But they were builds to beat Bound for Glory 24, and a lot of advertising was done. Well, no, I was just making sure it didn't have anything to do with, they were having problems again or something, because that would suck. Granny from Wrestling Observer Newsletter has massive heart attack.
Who?
Granny, they have this old woman on it. I forget whose grandmother it is, if it's Brian Alvarez. She had a massive heart attack the other week in 94. She pulled through that. She's still kicking. She goes on there and reads the shit sometimes. She's so fucking funny. Oh. She's another reason I am... She's another reason I listen to that because it makes me laugh.
Well,
MLW signs Matthew Justice away from GCW. Ric Flair and wife number 6 call it quits.
I know, I saw that.
Shocker. Dustin Rhodes along.
You know what MLW should sign? Sorapop Hendricks, the most indie wrestler name ever.
He's in the NWA, right?
Yeah, he was on the NWA 76th anniversary show with its 25 matches or whatever it was.
Dustin Rhodes announces launch of Rhodes Wrestling Association. I don't see what that's going to do except be like a school. NWA made its New York City debut at the Sacred Heart Catholic Academy, and it was a sellout.
What?
Okay, how many fucking tickets did you sell?
100.
Yeah, like if it only seats 100, it's like this room we're in, I think, is a sellout because we're in here.
Yeah.
All right, let me do this because I think you might be interested in this, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. The Sportster did the top 24 best professional wrestlers, and I want to see what you think of it because I saved this on purpose.
Okay, read it to me.
All right. Number 24, Charlotte Flair.
From what I've seen of her, I've never liked.
Really?
I've never.
She works just like the old man. She works like a guy, which is the ultimate compliment. Let me see.
Yeah.
Number 23.
I just always felt like she looked like a high school gym teacher.
Dude, I would have loved to have her as a high school gym teacher.
Well, it's because you had the Drunken Velveteer.
Yes, we did. Number 23, Rey Mysterio.
Wait. I thought you said it was the top 25.
24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I think he belongs on the list. Like, he's a decent wrestler. He's got longevity.
Yeah, he does.
22, Owen Hart. Owen Hart, great wrestler.
Yeah, great wrestler.
21, Nigel McGuinness.
Yes. the most underrated wrestler of all time. I think he belongs higher.
20, Chris Jericho is a living legend.
No, he's not.
He has damaged himself so bad with everything he's done.
I haven't seen a good Chris Jericho match in a very long time.
The Great Muta at number 19.
Again, wrestled for how many fucking years and was still good in his 60s.
Sure. 18, Asuka.
Well,
She's pretty good.
Yes.
17, Dean Malenko.
Yeah,
Man of 1,000 holds.
Another underrated wrestler.
16, Shawn Michaels, who was a workhorse in his prime. He was like
never
match of the year PWI like 11 years straight or something.
Never liked Shawn Michaels.
Well, me neither. I was always a Bret Hart guy, but like I can't. Now here's an old one that neither one of us are familiar with. I was El Santo from Mexico.
I know who that is.
Well, yeah, I know who he is. I never seen any of his matches though.
Exactly. That's from like the 50s or the 60s.
Yeah, he was born September 23rd, 1917. He died in 1982.
Oh.
5-time Mexican national middleweight champion, 2-time NWA world middleweight champion. That's back when it was EMLL. He was their star and everything. William Regal, number 14. Great mat wrestler. 13, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Best wrestler of the 80s.
I would have to say so.
Really?
Number 12.
Even over Flair, you think?
I said Ric Flair was the best ever, like the whole package. Oh, yeah, he made Flair. Flair was good, but Flair worked a slow style. Like you're talking about Punk earlier, working a slower style. Flair was...
Punk works a snail style.
Snail style. Jesus. Number 12.
Him his 3 fucking moves.
Number 12. Did you see when he hit McIntyre last night with the fucking... When he busted him with the fucking toolbox?
Yeah.
That was a nice blind shot, too. Number 12. Manami Toyota.
I've always heard amazing things about her, that she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Didn't she die in the ring?
I don't know.
Sure, about Aja Kong. Yeah, Aja Kong. Number 11, Nature Boy Ric Flair.
I don't know. I never liked him either.
Number 10, Randy Savage. Oh, stop it. Number 9, Kenta Kobashi.
Yes.
Carry anyone to a good match.
Should be higher. But
Number 8, Mitsuharu Misawa, the Essential Pillar.
only at 8?
Yeah.
These guys are only at 8 and 9.
Let's choose. Number 7, Kenny Omega.
Higher.
I don't think Kenny Omega should be higher than Misawa.
Again, I'm biased in that regard.
Yeah, because you like him, but he's never
AJ.
He never went to wrestling school properly. Omega.
Yeah, I know.
AJ Styles, number 6.
And look at how amazing he is.
Oh, he's
Omega.
He wrestles that same herky jerky style the Bucks do.
Shut up.
He does. You can't even deny that.
No, he doesn't.
Snapdragon spastic suplex.
What kind of what the fuck do you even mean by that? Herky jerky.
His moves just like they look like they're either too fast, like they just don't look complete.
I disagree.
Not all of them, but some of his moves look like just whifty, like that pussy knee.
What? The V trigger?
Yeah, what's it stand for? Vagina?
God.
6, Okada, because he carried New Japan on his back for so long.
Yeah. And now he's on vacation.
Christ, he was born in 1987. I'm like 10 years older than him. Number 3, Bret Hart. Absolutely.
No, never liked Bret Hart.
Oh, blow it out your ass. Number 2, Bryan Danielson. If Bryan Danielson's number 2, who's number 1?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best.
Kurt Angle. Number 1 on this list.
Well, he's in the top 4.
It's hard to...
Ospreay didn't even make this list. Come on.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it's his kind of wrestlers that are on there. You know what I mean?
I guess, but...
I mean, he's done moves that don't even have fucking names yet. All right, on to... That was the...
Oh, God. How long have we been on for?
Been on for a while. Well, we took off last week. What do you want?
Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, AEW news. Per Fightful, which you know how much I hate to give him any credit, the Lucha Brothers, the WWE is not a done deal, and Phoenix could be in AEW a lot longer than anticipated.
A year.
Yeah. Meltzer said Penta's going to be going soon, but that doesn't even sound like it. Yeah, they added time to Phoenix's contract because he got hurt, right?
Yeah, he's got a year of injury time.
Wow. That sucks. I mean, it sucks if he wanted to leave. All right. I only saw the first night of Grand Slam. How was that?
Very, very amazing. It was very good.
Let me bring up the matches real quick. We'll run through that because... Shut up. You need to get medicine for that narco sleepy you have. Ha! Ha! Result. Night 1. Dynamite, September 25th. Danielson defeated McGinnis in only 1850. I thought it was longer than that.
That was an amazing match.
Hook defeated Roderick Strong. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. I don't know what they're doing with Nigel because I don't know how often he's going to be doing this.
Because I bet you with that they have to take it match by match. To see what he can handle.
When does he get back in the ring after such a long layoff, though? But
you
see guys get in the ring though, like you see Reigns the other night. Like you're slow after not being in the ring for a while.
But he was still very good.
Hook defeated Roderick Strong to defend the FTW title, which he retired.
Yes.
Thank God. Hopefully we are. Like you
said.
And
then Taz was crying.
Oh, please. That's not even Taz's belt, right? The FTW belt in ECW looked like the WWF Winged Eagle belt, but it was orange. And it had a piece of duct tape across it that somebody wrote FTW. All it was. The Young Bucks defeated Kyle Felcher and Will Ospreay in 19 minutes and 30 seconds to defend the AEW World Tag Title.
Yep.
Mariah May defeated Yuka Sakazaki by pinfall.
Yes.
To defend the AEW Women's World Championship. And Jon Moxley defeated Darby Allin by pinfall.
Yeah, that was an amazing.
So he will face.
That was a stiff fucking match.
Yeah, well, Darby likes to get beat up. He's a fucking sadist. That was for Allen's AEW World Championship opportunity.
If he was a sadist, that means he would like inflicting pain.
Yeah, masochist. He likes to get inflicted on him. So now Moxley will face Danielson at WrestleMania.
That's going to be an amazing match. And then Danielson attacked him at the end of the show. He tried to strangle him with a tie.
Night 2 collision taped right after this aired on September 28th. Jamie Hayter defeated Saraya in a Saraya rules match.
That was actually very entertaining.
The rules of the match that were only Saraya was allowed to use weapons, closed fists, use hammer locks, use outside interference, not make use of the traditional 10 count, and use rope breaks. The winner received an autographed copy of Saraya's autobiography. How the fuck did Jamie Hayter beat her if she couldn't do a hammer lock or any of that?
That was the point. It was to demonstrate.
God, I'm laughing so hard right now.
It was to demonstrate how great Jamie Hayter was. And Saraya.
Holy shit! Brian Keith actually got in the ring. The Learning Tree. Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith defeated the Conglomeration.
I love the Conglomeration.
Mark Briscoe, Homeless Kyle O'Reilly, and My Dog Pockets by pinfall. 8 minutes. That's it.
I didn't see that match.
Tornado Trios match. Oh, then you throw in this shit for 1:40.
What?
Brody King defeats Action Andretti. Jack Perry defeats Minoru Suzuki by countout. That's the only fucking way he was going to beat him. Suzuki's shit's bigger than Perry. That was 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
TNT Championship.
Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, who is
this was good,
being held against his will, defeated Commander and Private Party to defend the AEW, to retain the AEW World Trios Championship.
That was very good because it was like Wheeler was refusing to get tagged in. He was refusing to punch, and then it was just very good.
Hologram, the retarded luchador.
Well, why don't you like him?
I saw him fuck up a lot in that pre-show. He defeated the Beast Mortos, who I do like, and Dralistico?
Yeah, Dralistico.
10:35 three-way match. Hangman Page defeated Jeff Jarrett with Karen Jarrett.
This was very disappointing because it said that it was a lumberjack strap match.
Yeah, and he won by pinfall.
And I thought that meant that they would actually be tied together with a strap, but it didn't. It just meant that there were a bunch of people on the outside with belts and straps to hit them with. That was it.
And finally, in the main event, Kazuchika Okada retained the Continental Breakfast Championship in a Continental Breakfast Eliminator, where since Guevara lost, he defeated Sammy Guevara. Since Guevara lost, he can no longer challenge for the title as long as Okada is champion. So, yeah, that was a pretty good. Grand Slam is always good, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Booker T says Adam Cole is the next Shawn Michaels and is lost in the shuffle in AEW.
No, he's
How
not.
you lost in the shuffle if you ain't even really there yet?
Well, because he's injured.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, why would you make such a dumb comment like that?
Well, he's Booker T. Booker T, like, what did you say about Booker T? He only ever got over because
He should have his mouth duct taped to Vince Russo's penis. He should blow him every time he walks into a room. If he sees him getting gas somewhere, he should walk over and put his cock in his mouth. Because that's the only reason he ever got over in WCW. He was a good wrestler, don't get me wrong. But past that, best of 7 match series with Benoit, which if you could look that shit up is really good for the TV title. Tony Schiavone says AEW holding an event at Madison Square Garden would be great. And I'm like, it would be 3/4 empty the way they market shit. It would expose them on the biggest stage of them all. No.
It's not the biggest stage of them all.
That's the world's most famous wrestling arena. That's what I mean. And it seats like 25,000 people. It's a bigger than average indoor arena. Mercedes Moon said she was going to get a blunt and some wine and watch the Mr. McMahon doc.
Someone asked her about it.
But why would you say that? I know it's legal now and everything, but why would you say that? You don't need to say it.
Yeah.
AEW pay-per-views will not be on Bleacher Report anymore starting this month with WrestleDream.
Well, because now they're going to be going to HBO Max starting in January.
Which, like I said, we need to start watching them here. We're going to be shooting pool while we're watching them out in the garage.
Yeah, because, hey, listen, her answer was a lot better.
You ever shot pool before?
Not successfully. Oh. Her answer was a lot better than Cody's answer. Oh, I'm in the middle of a Game of Thrones rewatch right now.
Yeah, well, he's not going to say anything.
Well, because he's a fucking idiot. That's why.
But you need to learn how to shoot pool. You have a freaking reputation to uphold with this family. We're all good pool shooters. Even your mother was good. MVP debuted at Grand Slam.
Oh, this was very good. And then
I'm glad to see that they're going there. I think them being there can bring more credibility to AEW.
And apparently Lashley signed. That's been leaked.
Yeah,
and
I have that.
Shelton Benjamin debuted on Wednesday, and that was amazing the way they did it. Where Nana's arguing with MVP, and he's like, "You sound like you got a complaint. I don't deal with complaints, but he does." And the camera pans over, and it's just Shelton Benjamin like.
Well, you're talking three guys that can talk. All three of them can talk. And Bobby is a beast with that little baby head of his. Well, and Benjamin is an awesome wrestler.
Well, a lot of people are hoping that they put Ricochet in there as a heel so that they can cover for him on the mic.
Oh, they have to. And he would be great.
I got you, dog. I see. I got you.
Yeah, they gave that match away already too, didn't they?
No, it had a screwy finish.
No, I'm not saying they're not going to do it again, but you can't do any more of them not on free TV, though. You can only do one. You need to do the rest of them.
Because now they're going to have a blow-off at WrestleDream.
Well, that'll be good.
In a triple threat with Take a Shit. Where Take a Shit's probably going to pin Ricochet and get the belt off of Ospreay.
Hold on, I'm just getting rid of some stuff off the format that we already talked about. Jay White returned.
Yes. It's amazing. He's going to feud with Hangman.
Good. He needed to start over. He needed a do-over, like start over. Nobody seen him for a while.
He's going to feud with Hangman right at the top of the card.
Yeah, I saw that. He sets his sight on Hangnail Page. Kevin Kelly lawsuit with the Tate twins moved to federal court. I don't want to fucking
hear about this anymore.
It's moved to federal court.
I know, because it's just a bunch of garbage. That stupid lawyer, Stephen P.
You don't see... Oh, cue the music. You don't see the problem with paying $60 million in 2 years for Cal? $30 million a year? I want to see the list of that town.
Not when you make it all back in 1 year.
Yeah, but I still want to see.
They're predicted to make $60 to $74 million in profit.
I know. We're going to get into that in a minute because I have.
And you said that they weren't profitable. WCW.
I never said that. I never said they were.
WCW was almost never turning a profit. Did you know that?
Yeah, but here we go. Talking about a waste of money. Saraya re-signs with AEW
for a year.
Yeah, but it's the year you could get away with not having her.
Whatever.
And more fuel to the fire with the Shane McMahon rumors because he's photographed with the Young Bucks on 9/26. They shared a flight from New York to California.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Ticket sales for Grand Slam in Australia are not going good so far, I hear.
I know. Apparently, it's uniquely because an Australian problem because of where it is and stuff, and that's what I've read.
Yeah, let's do Dave Meltzer breaks down the WB.
How long have we been on for?
Why do you got to say that? It looks like you don't want to do the show. People are listening to this.
God, this feels like the longest show we've done.
It is because we didn't do it last week.
Fucking Christ.
Dave Meltzer, how do you think it is dealing with you? Sources close to the negotiations, as Dave says.
Well, this is all outdated because we know how this ended.
No, but it's the whole breakdown of it.
It came out.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
They're going to make
$555 million.
Yeah, $500 million.
180 in 2025, 185 in 2026, and 190 in 2027. They have an option year built for 2028. They're going to involve the streaming service Max in a big way.
Yeah, and also they don't. It's not exclusive to WBD, so
but you still got to pay for the pay-per-views.
It's a discount.
Yeah, that sucks though. Like WWE, who has a gigantic library, if you pay for Peacock, you get it. That's what I was hoping for.
Well, maybe that's what they're going towards.
Well, they should just do it now. I think that sucks. All right, and finally, we'll do the Wrestle Dream preview, and we'll get you out of here.
I gotta go home and play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Is that what you're playing?
Yeah.
But you're waiting for a fucking save point? I had to come over later to get you?
Yes, I was saving one of our nation's good allies in the Mujahideen.
You should have just fucking left it on. I left my Super Nintendo on for a week one time.
Why?
When I was trying to beat Zelda, A Link to the Past in high school. Yeah, I wanted to do it in one try because it tells you how many tries at the end. And I was using a Game Shark, so. All right, Wrestle Dream, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it, see what they got so far. Yeah, you shouldn't be pissing on our own fucking show while we're on the air. Like, hello, we've been on the air.
Well, I'm tired.
I
didn't take my nap yet. I didn't take my nap yet today.
God, you're like a fucking 80-year-old man. Wow. They got 8 matches, one on the pre-show. Atlantis Jr. for Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Atlantis Jr. is defending the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Hopefully Cage will win it and flush it down a toilet. Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World title.
That's going to be... Oh, God.
Darby Allin goes from possibly challenging for the world title to fighting Captain fucking Spaulding, Brody King.
Hey, well, Brody King ran him over with a bus. Or no, he didn't. No.
He made a joke that he was driving the bus.
Sorry. I forgot about it.
They should have just ran with it. Jack Perry versus Katsuyori Shibata, Brayless II, for the AEW TNT Championship.
That's going to be a great match. Because Perry can wrestle.
Sure. Yeah, he was very good with Danielson. But I give a lot of that to Danielson because how
Shibata's a great wrestler, so that means...
Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Take a Shit for the International Championship in a
Could be a match of the night.
Which I am going to start writing up the IWPs for the end of the year, the awards.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start going over because we always want, instead of PWI, we're going to be IWP.
Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast Awards.
Yeah, the Young Bucks against Private Party for the World Tag Team
Championship. Yeah, Zane Quinn. They have one of the best entrances where they have one of the security guards has a velvet rope on the entrance ramp and it's like they're coming into a nightclub. Fuck
them. They're like Robbie T and what's his name from TNA.
The Bromance?
That's awful. Mariah May versus to be announced for the AW World Series.
Yeah, it's going to be either...
Who's this to be announced? I've never heard of this.
It's either going to be Britt Baker or Willow Nightingale. They have a match on Title Tuesday to decide
Willow. And in the main event, Bryan Danielson defends the AEW World Championship.
That's going to be amazing.
Moxley. I think maybe the whole angle with them being Nazis is going to pay off that night, and maybe he's going to be the one to retire Danielson. What do you think?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, because we have no idea who it's going to be.
Yeah, no idea. I was just hoping that I was hoping it was going to be someone that was younger, but
I guess that'll do it for this week.
Sign up.
Good night, everybody.
Get your hand off my penis!